Hello, hello, hello. I am Gianna Tanalia. I am the owner of GT Extension Bar, the creator of Hand Tied 101, and the founder of GT University. And I help hairstylists find work life balance with learning luxury services like hand tied extensions and just really trying to help them find their true destiny. And work life balance to me is extremely, extremely valuable. I feel that as hairstylists, we can sometimes lose ourselves and lose our inspiration. And so I really, really want to help, end the burnout and create resources and outlets for beauty pros and hairstylists alike to help find their destiny, help find their inner peace, and find their dream life, their dream clients, and attract all of their dream clients and services they love doing on social media and having their social media work for them so that they are not, a slave to their chair or a slave to their social media. So today, I want to talk about, I've been reading this book. It is called Steering by Starlight. I actually just finished it last night. Steering by Starlight, Find Your Right Life No Matter What by Martha Beck. Okay. And for those of you that don't know, I am a certified life coach. I went through the Jay Shetty certification program. And I spent a lot of hours, a lot of reading, a lot of research to get through the program. And I learned a lot about the human mind and emotions and the human experience. And I've just been on a rampage ever since as far as learning about it. So I am going to read you an excerpt from this book. Okay, this is definitely something that is a little bit different, not something that I would normally do, but I read this part and it's been sticking in my brain. And I just really feel like it's important to share with the world, okay? Because I just don't think enough people will read this book, especially if you're not a life coach. So I'm going to read it. It's called The Ring of Fire, okay? And you hear songs and stuff about the Ring of Fire. I'm sure you've heard the term Ring of Fire. But this just kind of gives you an example of what the human experience actually looks like. And okay, so let's do this, okay? So if you picture, so she gives you this metaphor, okay? It says your 3-ring life. And picture a sphere, almost like the earth, right? So picture a sphere that is your life. The outermost crust is called the shallows. That middle section is called the ring of fire. And then the core section she calls it the stargazer. Okay. So that is your core of peace, your most peaceful, your most happy, your most joyful self. The self that knows your destiny, which is inside of you all the time. So your most peaceful self is always inside of you. Okay. So you have the shallows, which is, the surface level of life. You have the ring of fire, and then you have your inner peace, your core inner peace, love, kindness, joy. Okay. So here we go. The shallows, the material reality. The exterior shell of your life is what I call the shallows. You might also call it the world of form, of physical objects, and the thoughts that cluster around them. When your consciousness is fully attached to this realm, you are a material girl or boy. You're mentally trapped in your concept of yourself as isolated, limited, and separate from all other things. Your socialized beliefs and your lizard fears direct your actions, which is consistent of running from things you dread and grasping at things you desire. So in a previous podcast, I talked about your devil on your shoulder. That's what she means when she says your lizard. Maddeningly, no matter what you do, danger is never fully averted and desire is never permanently fulfilled. To quote Samuel Beckett, you are born astride of a grave and a difficult labor. If you want to know what the generalized human outer limit looks like, take a gander at advertising, especially American advertising. It's a dazzling display of outer limit rewards: wealth, status, sex, fame, power, approval. Asian folklore includes a type of demon called a hungry ghost, which has an endless, ravenous stomach and tiny pinhole mouth, because hungry ghosts can't eat enough to satiate themselves. They're perpetually desperate, devouring, grabby, needy. Someone once asked the Vietnamese monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, what does the realm of the hungry ghost look like? He answered with one word: America. Mind you, I'm not knocking the prosperity and ease of the wealthiest culture in human history. I'm eternally grateful for what I was born into it, that I was born into it. The problem isn't that some people have a lot of stuff. That's wonderful, especially if we learn how to share it. But rather, that no matter how much we have in the shallows, nothing is ever enough. Fortunately, there is more to us than our outer limit lives. If you've done any of the exercises in the previous chapters, you know what I'm talking about. The core of peace, the stargazer. At our very cores, unperturbed by the disturbances of the shallows, lies the stargazer self. No untruth can exist at this level of awareness. No apparent separation from the fabric of the universe. No pain, no fear, no death. The real reason we feel so starved in the shallows is that we aren't made to be satisfied with material possessions or with concepts of ourselves as famous, noble, smart, handsome, righteous, influential, blah, blah, blah. What we really want is the peace of the stargazer. The irony is that this is already present in every single one of us. Though it's obscured by the dense matter of our lives at their shallowest. Clinging to the shallowest sphere of existence, losing touch with our cores, is the primary cause of all of our unhappiness. So why does almost everyone spend enormous energy doing it? To avoid the ring of fire. That's why. The ring of fire. The ring of fire is the emotional process we must go through in order to reach the core of peace. There are only two ways to accomplish this. We can disbelieve any false ideas that are causing unnecessary pain, and we must grieve any unavoidable pain, loss of health or a loved one, for example. Whenever outer limit rewards escape us, when our hearts are broken or our trust is betrayed, our health compromised, or our dreams dashed, this process of grief or disbelief is triggered, and our attachment to the shallow material shell of life weakens. The gravitational pull of the stargazer draws us inward, trying to get us to the place where our hearts can heal once and for all, and our real dreams come true. This is a totally benevolent process. But the stargazer reality is so intense, its light so bright, and nothing impermanent or false. Everything that we think defines us and makes us important may burn up as we get closer to our cores. If we stay in it, the ring of fire eventually vaporizes every dysfunctional concept learned by our social selves and every self-protective superstition manufactured by our inner lizards. It disintegrates ideas, just like dungeon digging, but much more quickly and dramatically. The deeper you go, the more components of your ego start to burn. emoliated by the flames, hot enough to vaporize solid rock. Sound like fun? Oh, it isn't. But when you get the opportunity, I advise you to do it anyway. In fact, this chapter will challenge you to walk straight into the ring of fire, wherever your own life grants you access to it. Okay, so that's all about the Ring of Fire. I just really thought that that was extremely important to share because I think a lot of us spend a lot of time in the shallows, if you will. And I think now more than ever, people are needing and just striving for that feeling of inner peace and striving for that feeling of purpose. And sometimes it hurts in order to find it. And there's a lot of things that you might need to let go of to find it. And that can be extremely painful. And it will cause grieving and guilt and, a whole bunch of other emotions. But shedding is really what it is. You're letting go and you're stripping down to your core, because at the end of the day we don't need all the bullshit, and there's a lot of bullshit. So walk through the ring of fire. That's all I have for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye for now.